I used to feel sorry for the rocks and not for the trees or the grass or the sea or the water lapping in or the sand. And I discovered why when my grandmother died. It was the first time I touched a corpse. And I just said to myself, that's what inanimate means. And that's why I was sorry for the rocks.
Born Mary Burke on the 24th of May 1927. Mary grew up in Pontoon, County Mayo on the shores of Lough Conn.
To this day, she has a great love and yearning for Navan and Lough Conn.
It was a rendezvous. My father and mother supposed to have proposed to her there. A place called the Green Gates. That's Nathan Beg. There's a sandy beach there, lovely sandy beach, and rocks. Rocks are written words.
Her father was in the old IRA as a young man and in later life became a county councillor in Mayo.
He was the most wonderful person that I ever knew because he was so straight and honest, and he wanted to do something for the people because they had such a hard life and they didn't even own the bit of land that they had. They didn't even own it. So he was determined that he was going to do his bit. And that was why he joined the IRA and why he was on the run and sleeping in sheds. And they never thought that they might make any difference, but they did. That's my mother's and father's wedding. She's standing with the flowers. It seems the groom was allowed to sit and the woman stand. And that's my Uncle John and her bridesmaid. These are my two grandmothers. Now, the taller one on the right is my grandmother who lived with us, my father's mother. My mother's mother, I forget what the dog's name was. And that was my father's bride. They lived in a different world.
She recalls as a young child her house being raided by the Blue Shirts.
Even after the War of Independence was over, and my poor grandmother, the house was being searched by the Black and Tans, and then after that by the Free State Army, and they'd take if she had cigarettes. My father never smoked, but John, my Uncle John, he was in the IRA as well, and he smoked, and the Black and Tans would come in and take the cigarettes she had for John and anything else that appealed to them. She voted for Dave in North Mayo, and every time she voted, if it was for the lowliest councillor, it was always a vote for Dave. And she voted up until I don't know what the last year she voted, but it was near the 100 anyway. She never missed voting for Fianna Fáil. So it was really ingrained there.
Her mother worked in Foxford woolen mills before she married. A tailor in the mill taught her how to cut out patterns, and she made suits for her sons and dresses for her daughters.
There were pattern books, you could get it as well, that would tell you how to make them, and she says she'd get new styles, to make on the Singer sewing machine.
Her mother developed Parkinson's as a relatively young woman.
51. And she was able to sew for a little while after that, but not really, she wasn't able to do anything. Nothing. My grandmother was there, tall and walking around. My mother wasn't able to, from the chair to the bed.
Granny was the eldest of 9. She had 4 brothers and 4 sisters, 5 of whom are still alive.
My youngest brother died when he was only 51. He was an alcoholic.
Her father secured an exchange of land and moved to Ballina to ensure that all his children got a secondary school education and that nobody would have to go to England.
I hated it. I was absolutely heartbroken leaving the lake and my friends, and at 12,
Mary attended secondary school in Ballina where she completed her Leaving Cert.
She still regrets that she did not get that honour in geography.
Roman history and Greek mythology and read Chesterton and all that kind of thing, we were introduced to, which and the poetry, Keats and Shelley, and wonderful. And only for the nuns we wouldn't have had that.
Like Manny, she received the fauna for the Irish language, but she says that if a fellow had the fauna and a pioneer pin, you gave him a wide berth.
So you see then that it's simply a sign that one speaks the Irish language, one is anxious to be spoken to in that language, and it helps to get the language spoken generally.
She went on to work as a telephonist in Roscommon and Carrick-on-Shannon, where she met her husband Kevin Gray, who was from County Sligo, and worked for the Department of Posts and Telegraphs, and definitely didn't have a pioneer pin.
Oh, we did for a long time. The outfit was off about 2 times between for a couple of years, and got back together. It was a double wedding, yeah, my sister and I. We had lots of friends, and wonderful friends. We used to be dress dances. We used to go to Sligo, the post office. We'd have a night out every year.
Like many women, Mary had to give up her job when she married, but returned to work as a telephonist in later years.
Never blamed her. Never, I couldn't do that. You know, you had a child every year at that time when there was no contraception that time. See, we were Catholics. I suppose we were discriminated against. You know, we were, yeah.
In her early years as a telephonist in Roscommon, Mary was responsible for sending a telegram from De Valera to India offering sympathy on the death of Gandhi.
Oh yeah, that was in Roscommon that time, and there must have been an election. He was in the town, and I put through the call. I wasn't allowed to say it that time, but I can say it now because of the secrecy. But when Gandhi, he was a great admirer of Gandhi. So was my father. They need a Gandhi now in India. God love them.
There's no doubt that he was perhaps the most outstanding figure during the period that I've been in public life.
Mary and Kevin had 7 children, but the 7th child died shortly after birth.
Her husband Kevin died in 2011, and although she will be 94 on the 24th of May, Mary continues to live alone in a small estate in Longford.
He was into motorbikes, and he was soccer and jazz and drama. Set up the drama company in Carrick-on-Shannon, the Breffni Players. We'd go down to see every play, and then if they went on to do the tour of the festivals, we'd be there with them too. Oh, himself and his brother went around the country showing, they were going to make millions, showing films. So he decided that if he was ever a postmaster, that he'd, first of all, he'd mind the postmen who were looked down on. And he did get to be postmaster. He did that. Then he was as daft as a brush. And anywhere there was three in a pub, he was there too. And he never had a halfpenny. I don't know how he got through life.
Mary has 17 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren.
This is Isabel when she was born, and this is Isabel at 6 now, I think. And Polly is about 6 weeks. She has a long way to go. You think to say about the world and how it's gone and the terrible things that are happening. But when you see them, you know, they're all such good people. Everything will be all right with the world.
Mary is a devout Catholic, but has a great tolerance and respect for other faiths and a great compassion for other people.
I was just reading there, someone talking about religion has a role to play in global affairs. That maybe there's a possibility. But I do think that it was a help, you know, that we believed, really and truly believed. It gets more difficult with every year to still believe, because I'm so near it now, you know, that I hope they'll find me on the chair, you know, like the old priest Peter Gilligan, you know that? Yes. I find it difficult. When I used to be praying with my grandmother, I never liked forever and ever bit. It frightened me when I was a child even. Forever and ever is a terrible thing. It's beginning and end to everything, but I'm not so sure now. But I'll hang in there like.
Her title is Granny Gray, and she is affectionately called this by many children in this estate, not just her own grandchildren.
She has a Muslim daughter-in-law and 3 Muslim grandchildren, and goes to great lengths to ensure that Muslim tradition is followed when they visit her, purchasing halal meat for their meals.
Mary demonstrated her compassion when she took 2 young unmarried girls into her home in the 1970s and 1980s to prevent one going into a mother and baby home during her pregnancy.
The poor girl herself, you know, I've often thought I should have talked more to her, but I didn't know which was the right thing to do, you know, to just pretend that nothing happened and she was only with us for a month or 6 weeks or whatever it was.
And to give the other girl a home to bring her baby to when no other options were open to her.
It wasn't me, it was Katrina, my eldest daughter. She was the one that decided we'd mind her, you know, she knew I wouldn't mind. It was all they had a ball with the new baby and which pictures still of the baby. Zaley, a pharmacist now. Such good people, you know. And there'll be another one, you know, daft. We were daft ourselves. My husband was as daft, like I said, daft, I suppose. And had no idea of money just didn't matter, you know. I was always worrying about money. I was always worrying anyway. We got through it. I often wonder, you know, when you get through, how did we get through it? Because there was lots of sad things as well as the joyous ones. But you do, you have to carry on. Bannocked. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the grey window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colours, indigo, red, green and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. John O'Donoghue.